Sheeko Sheeko.
Man, you don't wear a hijab.
How did you know?
Girl, I'm very observant. Okay. For real though, my first question is, have you ever worn a hijab? And if you haven't ever worn a hijab, do you feel that people treat you differently than other sisters that do wear hijab? This is not Muslims or Muslims, from employers to men, whatever the case may be.
I haven't really worn it like long term in my adult life. Like when you're a kid, you go to Dixie here and there, and it's Eid, or you go to prayer. Yeah, I go to the mosque and I wear hijab.
Right.
In a sense, do I get treated differently? No, maybe I don't notice. I'm so oblivious. You don't understand. I live in Iman world.
Yeah.
If it's not about me, I don't care.
Say it, girl.
You know what I mean? I'm very oblivious.
Yeah.
You could hate me and I wouldn't know because I'm so obsessed with myself. But I've never noticed anything. Like I didn't grow up in Toronto, so I don't have this Toronto rhetoric of the stories of the high school and stuff. But when I went to school, I wish I had more to say. No, like I love the hijab. I love it. Yeah. I think girls are so beautiful in the hijab. I wish I can get to that point, inshallah, one time in my life. You know what I mean? To me, a hijab is just more than a headscarf.
Right.
It's literally, I'm not going to walk around in like tights and a tee with a hijab. But I probably would if I put it on right now because I wouldn't be 100% committed. You know what I mean?
Right, and you wouldn't know what you're wearing it for, right?
And I would cuss someone out in a hijab. So I'm not ready. Yeah. You know, my mouth is still going, I can't. I need to be a better person. So I need to work on myself first.
Yeah.
Reach my goals in life. And then I think hijab for me personally is the last step.
Yeah.
Like I want to get my salat down. I want to make sure I fast my days. I want to make sure I don't talk bad about people. I don't want to cuss your ass out in the streets. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to have anger when I'm driving. Right. I don't want to be mad at my house. Everything, once that gets completed, then I will do the physical image of it. Because right now, I'm not the nicest person.
Yeah. Inshallah, you will.
I mean? Inshallah, one day, I'm going to be...
Allah's guidance.
All of that.
Exactly.
I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
I've never, I don't wear a hijab.
It's going to come.
It's going to come, inshallah. It will. And again, I wore it when I was younger, strictly because of my parents. I didn't know what I was wearing before, and I really didn't want to get cussed out. So I just wore it. And then one day I had the confidence to be like, nah, I'm not going to wear it. And so ever since I have not worn it. But I do see a bit of a difference in terms of the women that do... So my sisters that are wearing it versus sisters that don't wear it. And I'm a sister that doesn't wear it. And this comes from employers to all the way to individuals like men. Again, same thing. In high school, actually, let me tell you something. I don't know if it happened to you guys, but in high school, there was a bit of a understanding that girls that did not wear hijabs were about that life, if you know what about that life means, right? And girls that did wear hijabs were not about that life. And then one day, Somali Gate came out. And all the girls, majority of them were on there, were hijabis. And then they would be like a slew of stories of, every time I want to say Halima, as a general name, I can't because there's like...
Oh my God, no. Okay, no. And also I want to address for the people who write the Halimos or whatever in comments. The name Halima is such an important name. We're gonna get into this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the Prophet ﷺ, may Allah love him most, the woman who nourished him from the nutrients of her own body, so essentially she breastfed him. Her name was Halima. And not only just Halima, her name was Halima radiallahu. It's this idea of when we're speaking of this name, do we not realize who we're disrespecting? Wallahi, I get so heartbroken when I hear this name being tossed like that. But if people knew the impact, the importance of this woman in the Prophet ﷺ's life, would they still talk the way they do?
Yeah.
Wallahi, it isn't me. I'm nobody. Who cares my name is Halima? But it's her that we insult. And subhanAllah, I just... No more.
Well, no, I'm serious. Since I've ever met you, I'm going to make it very clear. Since I've met you, I've stopped using the word Halima. I'm not lying. In the Somali community, we say Farah, and then we say Halima. It's like a general, it's like a Sally and Bob, right? And so ever since I've met you, I try to stop using that. And now I have another reason to stop using it. So I was just making that very clear that I was about to use it.
But they do it in the comments where they're like, oh, these Halimos. And
it goes back to education though,
right?
And how people have a lot to say about the hijab and who wears it and who doesn't, and who those people are and so on and so forth. But a lot of them don't even know the decree of what the hijab is and
Yes.
what goes on behind it, what it actually means. Because what Iman was saying was absolutely right. It's not just the headscarf on your head.
Right.
Like hijab is like a way of life and the way that you should carry yourself. And people, like I bet you the people that are making these comments on the YouTube pages or whatnot don't even know what the punishment in hellfire is for not wearing the hijab or for speaking like that for that matter, right?
Yeah.
So
no, you're right. And so I do what I was trying to say before I got called up by Halima.
No, I had to.
No, go ahead. No,
but not to you, but to the people
I'm
who
making a conscious decision not to use the name Halima as an example. I'm gonna go to Sally's and Bob's, and then they can come after me. But
or maybe XYZ.
Okay, XYZ. Yeah, there you go. So, but yes, I do feel like I do get treated differently versus somebody that does wear a hijab, either in a positive light or even a negative light, depending on what situation. And like I said, I've learned that just because you do wear a hijab, you may not be living that way of life, right? And versus another girl that is not wearing a hijab may not be living about that life, right? So really not stereotyping that person because of them wearing a hijab. Sorry, you were gonna ask me something?
No, do you guys ever wonder, like, do you ever go on Instagram? I don't know, maybe this is like the evil me that comes out. But like, and I see these like these like modest fashions like pages, and I'm just like, hold on, like $80 for hijab, $75 for a skirt. Like, do you think the whole point of the modesty and the hijab is about like marketing it as a fashion? Because sometimes I look at it, I'm just like, it's not meant to be fashion. It's not meant that you have like the golden crest on your hijab. Order it now, 120 pounds. And sometimes I just wonder, like, has this kind of turned into like a really big? And I saw it in an article, like fashionista some Muslim girls, like, and they're like, it was an article, and even a girl that's on the H&M commercials too. So it's just like, are we supposed to evolve like this? Like even that one hijab that looks like hair. Do you guys see it? It's like it's it has like a lace lining. But the material looks somewhat like hair from a distance, not up close. And then it kind of mocks that you have hair. So it's, I'm just like
the Jewish Orthodox Jews.
That's what Orthodox Jews do that. So my whole thing, it's like, okay, it shouldn't be about how much it costs. And the whole point is you're not even supposed to try to stand out that much. You know, you all want to be equal. So my whole thing is, bro, what life am I buying into? Am I going to be the fashionista Muslim girl? Or am I going to keep it modest, plain, and buy the, $20, $40 abaya and keep it real? That's the thing that tears me up the most. Like,
I just want to say that I'd rather have a modest non-hijabi than a super fashionista hijabi.
Okay, so let's start off with, do you treat Samatar? Because you've been talking under your breath throughout the whole segment. Okay. So it seems like you have a lot to say. Do you? I see. You love writing too while we do this. I love it. Do you, as a man, do you treat a woman that wears a hijab versus a woman that does not wear a hijab differently? And why so?
Yeah, well, probably when I was younger, when I was 14 years old or 13 years old, where I would just say things without thinking them through. But now as an adult man, I know that this is a perfect religion practiced by imperfect people. There's always going to be bumps.
Wow, that was good. Repeat that again.
This is a perfect religion practiced by imperfect people. There's always going to be bumps.
Wow, that was good. Repeat that again. What did you say? I didn't hear it. Repeat it again.
This is a perfect religion practiced by imperfect people. Woo. So you will never
word impressed.
You know what I mean? And you will sin. It's inevitable, and that's why God is the most merciful. Gives us an avenue to ask for forgiveness, right? So now I just see them. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. At least she's a Muslim girl who's, you know what I mean, or someone who's being modest, or at least like just being a good person, because I feel like there's much bigger issues than hijab. Right? There's other issues like trustworthiness, because there's plenty of hijabi girls who are just lying all the time, gossiping all the time, missing all of their prayers. You know what I mean? These are bigger issues for me than hijab or not hijab.
Okay. You know I have to chime in. Okay, so subhanAllah, I feel like it is so unfair sometimes when we say, oh, people who are wearing hijab and they do these things, X, Y, Z, whatever. Because we don't know the jihad they're fighting. And the greatest of jihads we're going to fight in this world is jihad al-nafs, which is the battle of your soul. And it's like, this woman wearing hijab, she's at least wearing it. And maybe, ya Allah, subhanAllah, she probably isn't embodying the things that she should be. But at the end of the day, subhanAllah, she's wearing it. It's this idea of Allah, although I'm not the best of people, Allah, I'm not who you want me to be, but I'm trying. Yeah. And it's this idea of when I hear people bash sisters, like, oh, but the sisters who gossip and do this and do that, it's like, at least she's trying. Yeah. Why do we deny her of the hijab? Let's judge her. Let's not even judge, but if we're going to speak about her, or for whatever reason, like, let's speak of, her actions, not this. It's just not fair. Yeah. Because, and here's another thing, like, we go back to the commentary. Like, I feel like, as a responsibility as an ummah, we're not taking care of each other. You're not making a sister who doesn't wear hijab want to wear hijab. Yes. And ya Allah, not only are you not bringing them close with mercy, subhanAllah, there is a story, and it's one of my most favorite stories, and it's about the Prophet ﷺ. He was with his cousin, and there was a sister who came, and she was not wearing hijab, and she was not even covered. So she comes, and subhanAllah, when she comes, she asks the Prophet ﷺ a question. The cousin that he's with looks at her, and he didn't lower his gaze, but the Prophet ﷺ did, and then what he did was he went to his cousin and put his head aside. He didn't tell the sister, subhanAllah, why are you not wearing hijab? Why are you not covered? No, but he told his brother, who is his cousin, you need to lower your gaze. You have a responsibility. So this idea of hijab is so difficult, and we live in a society that doesn't even make it easy. So when a sister is at least trying to, of course she's not perfect. So subhanAllah, there are wrongs that she's going to be doing. It's at least better than nothing. Yeah.
Especially in 2016 with all the Islamophobia that's happening.
It's to wear hijab, it's a revolutionary act. My wearing hijab, I'm being revolutionary. Why? Why am I being revolutionary? Yeah. But that's what it is. It's a revolution. The fact that I decided to wear hijab, and I feel like we're too harsh on sisters. And it's just not fair by brothers, by sisters, by non-Muslims. But what hurts me most, it's when it's our own ummah who rips and tears each other apart. Because then the other people outside of us will feel like it's okay, khalas, for us to do that because they already do it to each other. It's just not fair.
Right. I think we're dropping gems today.
You seem really passionate about this. Are you as passionate for women that don't wear it though?
Yes, khalas. Okay. I got a story.
Okay.